Hello, scholars. I'm Chauncey Joyce, and today I'm here with Madison Wilz. Madison, are you ready to
Hi
get started?
everyone. Yes, I am.
Okay, Madison, what industry do you work in, and how many years have you worked in the industry?
Yeah, so I work in the insurance industry. With my co-op that I did at UC, I'm at 4 years in the insurance industry right now. I have 2 years experience specific to brokerage and consulting.
Great. What do you feel is most unique and exciting about the insurance industry?
Yeah, so the one of the more unique aspects of the insurance industry is that 50% of the industry is set to retire in the next 5 years. So that's something super cool that's specific to insurance. There's a huge opportunity to have a super lucrative career. And also, you have the opportunity to work with a bunch of industry experts that have had a lot of years in and experience in the industry. So it's a super cool opportunity at this time.
It makes a lot of sense. So, what is
Yeah.
your current title, role, and company?
Yeah, so right now I'm a senior associate account representative. So what that means is I handle on-demand and renewal service specific to the construction book of business. I work at USI Insurance Services, and I work at their Cincinnati office, but they're headquartered in Valhalla, New York.
Oh, great. I'm from upstate New York.
Oh, that's
So,
awesome.
can you please provide a brief description of your role?
Yeah, so my role would probably best be described as more of a service focused operations role. So, because I work on the construction book of business, my clients are contractors in our middle market segment. And that kind of is segmented based on company revenue. So day to day, I handle all the ongoing changes when that comes to the property and liability policies for my clients. So I act as the middleman between the insured and their insurance carrier. So that can include just, general informational communication and also negotiation at times.
Okay. What other roles have you held?
Yeah. So I work in property casualty insurance now on the commercial side, but I have worked in health insurance sales. And then I also worked in claims for a little bit. I did a internship. My first internship was in claims at UC.
Oh, great. Go Bearcats.
Yeah.
All right. So it sounds like you currently live in Cincinnati. Have you lived in any other places during your time in insurance?
Yeah, so I have only lived in Cincinnati. When I've been in insurance, I haven't lived in other places, but when I was graduating, I was looking at other offices at my company and interviewing for other offices out of state. I ultimately decided, the office in Cincinnati was the Midwest hub for my company. They're the regional hub, and there's so many insurance carriers based in Cincinnati. So that opportunity for networking was huge, and I ultimately stayed here post graduation too.
Oh, that's great. Glad you did.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you went to the University of Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Is there anything else about your educational background you'd like to share?
Yeah, so I'm actually from Dayton, Ohio, a little bit up north. I graduated from Centerville High School. If you know
Okay.
where that
Elks.
is, I
Yeah.
decided to go to UC after I was accepted into Kolodzic Business Scholars. It's one of the honors programs here at
Yep.
UC. And here I majored in marketing and entrepreneurship, and then I minored in insurance and risk management. So that's kind of how I ended up in the insurance industry. I graduated in 2022 and then have been with USI, my current employer, since I graduated. So it was kind of some background on how I ended up in the insurance industry with, the marketing degree
Yeah.
and entrepreneurship degree as well.
Yeah, marketing is one of the most popular majors for the University of Cincinnati. So um,
Yeah.
I'm
You
glad you
don't
found your.
realize how it can, tie into the insurance industry, but that is something I did want to bring up too.
Mhm.
That I thought was just super cool about insurance is I meet people every day who found their way into the insurance industry kind of like by mistake or accident. A lot of them have like finance or accounting backgrounds, marketing backgrounds. And that can still tie in very easily with the industry. So,
I love that you said what's super cool about insurance. I bet a lot of people don't see insurance that way, but hopefully they'll change their mind after listening to you.
I agree. Hopefully.
So, do you have any recommended education or any professional designations that students should be thinking about?
Yeah, so I think that the insurance industry specifically has a bunch of different designations, education, certifications that you can obtain that can be specific to a career path in insurance, but can also be more general. I know one that is super popular and is also kind of considered like the Masters of Insurance is called the CPCU designation. That's the acronym. And yeah, so it's one of those where I think if you find yourself in the industry and it's something that you want to continue providing yourself that education and also gain those certifications, you're able to do that if you do choose to go the insurance route.
Yeah, that's great. Do usually employers help you sponsor those types of opportunities?
Yeah, so that was something I was gonna say too. If you do decide to go into underwriting, I don't believe that you have to have a license to do that. But if you do decide to go in another kind of path where you're advising clients, you do have to get the property and casualty license or the health and life license. Most internships or employers will actually provide that you get that education and get that licensing as a part of your employment. So that's something that's really great and is an
Hmm.
opportunity that is provided to most internships in entry level positions post grad. And then I know that there are some employers that do provide, compensation for that continuing education. And a lot of times it's part of your yearly goal setting
Mm.
with your leaders to incorporate that continuing education into your career. So it's kind of mutually beneficial to you and your employer, which is great.
No, that's pretty cool. Getting paid to
Yeah.
learn. Man, I'm gonna
Yeah,
sign up for
it's
that.
pretty awesome.
Okay, could you please describe a good day, Madison?
Yeah. A good day at work for me would be one where I successfully helped one of my clients solve a problem with their insurance or kind of alleviated that stress as part of their business. And then also specific to a brokerage, I love working at a brokerage just because of how important and rampant networking still is as part of the position. I know on my side and in my role, I'm still networking with a lot of the insurance carriers as well. So having the opportunity to cultivate those professional relationships, it makes the job really fun.
Great. What does a challenging day look like?
Yeah. I had trouble with this one because I think every day in a career presents new challenges in different ways. But I would say my most challenging days are one where there is just a high volume of questions and requests coming at me. I think in any career, it can be a challenge to manage time, but I think that's something so great about UC's co-op experience and internship experience is that a lot of times students are doing that while also, still taking classes, either part-time or full-time. And so that experience kind of sets you up to be able to handle those challenging days for sure.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of our co-op program, so glad to
Me
hear that.
too. Me too.
Okay, so do the good days outnumber the challenging days?
Yeah, definitely. I
Great.
think, like you said, you can get paid to learn, but also I just like learning. I think if you're a curious minded person, then it could be an industry that could pique your interest, especially just because there's new scenarios coming up every single day. Um, and I love that part of the industry. So that makes it fulfilling and also challenging at the same time.
That's great. You sound like an honor student. So, uh, so what's your favorite part of your role?
Yeah, I would say my number one favorite part is just being able to work with my team on a daily basis. If you love working with people, this could definitely be an industry that you would be interested in. As an account rep, I work hand in hand with an account manager. And then we work directly under the sales producer who's actually going out and getting that new business that we are then, taking in and handling the customer service operations piece. So there's, a team dynamic that can be a lot of fun there. But then also, I think it just provides a great opportunity for upward growth. And as you gain that experience and overcome those new scenarios, then you can kind of grow within a company if you would like to do that, which is great.
Okay, now for your least favorite part of your role.
Yeah, I think this can come with any role, but I think my least favorite part would just be the day-to-day monotony that can come with just, a career in general, especially when you're starting out.
Yeah.
While it can be repetitive at times, that part is important when you're starting out to help you learn and really gain that foundation of, what you're trying to build in your career so that you can be credible to whether you're working with clients or credible to your internal clients, your bosses. And, I think the monotonous work is still a part of what holds a huge impact in the day-to-day operations of a business and for your employer. Um, so that can make things super fulfilling as well. What you're doing, even though it's monotonous, it's still super fulfilling.
Face when getting
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge I faced when getting into my career was just the, fundamental lack of experience in the industry as a whole. I think something I wish I did more was utilize my career coach that UC provided. And I think that helping me kind of navigate what those different paths in the industry and what I could do earlier on, I probably would have still found myself in the same position that I am, but it probably would have been a lot easier.
think
That
your interview, I
one.
think your interview is going to help a lot of students that were in that position because they're going to get to learn about different um, career routes within this field. So at least
Good,
you're still
good.
giving back. So we appreciate that. Okay,
Awesome.
now for one of my favorite questions, because I hear a lot about this from students who have a focus on mental health and mental health
Yeah,
issues and this growing importance of prioritizing yourself. Now, do you have any personal habits, routines, activities that help you with your mental health?
I loved this question as well because I do think it is also super important. That was actually one of the questions I asked in my interview when I was looking for a job post graduation was I think exactly this question. How do you help your employees prioritize their mental health? So this is an important question to me. I think finding a hobby outside of work once you're in the role and comfortable um, is essential to helping you unplug at the end of the day. Um, I know the biggest piece of advice I follow is to remind myself that a problem will still be there tomorrow. And I think it's important to just not overwork yourself too early, because then you get burnout. And the only person that hurts from being burnout really is yourself. So I think just being able to take that time outside of work where you're not thinking about it, you aren't able to be contacted, and you're doing something for yourself, like a hobby that you enjoy, um, is super important.
That's really, really good advice. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah,
Do you
of
have any
course.
other advice? Any other advice you'd like to share with an undergraduate student?
Yeah. So the biggest piece of advice I would give an undergraduate student, and where I would tell myself what I would tell myself if I was in their shoes, would just be to, take time to figure out what you enjoy, get your hands dirty, and first thing, learn about yourself. It's probably going to take a lot of iterations to figure out what you truly enjoy. But I think that ultimately, when you're in a position that you're not comfortable, or you're realizing maybe that, it's not a place you want to be in, those are the best points in life to help you figure out the path that you need to be on. So take your time and, learn from every experience. And, you don't always have to stay with what you're doing. It'll probably take a few tries before you find that perfect fit.
Oh, thank you so much. That's really good.
Thank
Um,
you.
Thanks so much, Madison. We really appreciate having you today.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.